It has been years since the last time I did one of these kind of videos. If you guys actually been following my channel from way back in the day, I used to do these like once, I think I used to do it like once or twice a month. And I used to love doing these because it was a great way to kind of get to know each other. Or I guess you guys get to know me, but I kind of get to know you guys based on the question you're asking. I used to love doing these, and I figured let's bring this back. Now, if you follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, I actually posted a IG poll and also a tweet, I don't know how I'm going to edit this, that said, ask me anything you get to be in the video, and here we are. So let's get right into it. I got a lot of questions, but I think I only picked like 24 once they were kind of varying amongst each other and stuff like that. So yeah, if we do this again, number one, if you want to see this again, hit that thumbs up and leave a comment or maybe a question or something like that. But if we do this again, we can probably get more in the future depending on how I actually edit this video and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into the first one. We got Alexander who says, what game do you want the 3 idiots to play the most? Okay. So it's actually funny you asked that. Originally, when we started doing 3 idiots, it was obviously a Dragon Ball Fighters thing. But as we started doing it, we experimented a couple of times doing other games. So we noticed that it wasn't just Dragon Ball content that people enjoyed. That's when we realized, you know what? We can probably see how far we can go with this. And by now, we've done a lot. Actually, we just did The Forest on C-React's channel last night, which I will link in the description of this video. And honestly, I think the best kind of content for us to do would be anything that's scary, because then you get jump scares and stuff like that. And honestly, I want to do more stuff like that, which is funny because I think literally this morning, C-React posted in our little Discord thread that we had, was like, hey, they're doing a sequel to The Forest, so we definitely got to do that at some point as well. So honestly, anything that is scary is what I think we should do what worked best. But you know what? In the comment section below, if you want to see specifically a game that 3 idiots should play together, what would you want to see and why? Let us know down below. What was your first thought when Logic got the Charizard? Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Logic just bought a first edition Shadowless Charizard for $226,000. It's basically been all over the news, all over the media. And yeah, what do I think about it? Well, I was literally the devil on the shoulder telling them to do it. I'll never forget, I actually sent them the link and I was like, hey, remember that Charizard you wanted? Well, actually, to kind of backtrack, what happened was he pulled a Charizard from Champions Path, the most recent set, on, what was it, like Saturday, Friday, something like that. And he got a high to just want to keep going and doing more.
Flashback.
I'm gonna call you guys back. Sorry, Bagel. Sorry, Bagel Bite. Oh, shit. Oh, fucking shit. Yo, give this to the internet right now. Give this to the internet.
End of flashback.
So he opened his base box, which he had just bought for $23,000 like 2 days ago prior to that. And on his 4th pack, he pulled the original base set Charizard. But then he wanted more. So he goes, I want more Charizards. What do I do? And I'm like, well, this auction ends tonight. This is on Friday, by the way. This auction ends tonight, and right now it's $120,000. I think it's probably going to end at $180,000. But if you want the best Charizard that, you know, not many exist in the world, this is going to be the one. So he goes, do you think I should do it? I'm like, hell yeah, do it. If I was you, I would have already done it. So next thing you know, he calls me up and goes, I did it. I made a bid. Let's see what happens. So we were both on FaceTime with each other. We were watching it end. We were also watching Logan's live stream when he was streaming the box opening. And I was there from start to finish. And does he regret it? Absolutely not. Do I regret telling him to do it? Absolutely not. Like, to me, to both of us, actually, it's mad exciting to see this historic purchase and just the overall growth of Charizard's popularity over the course of the last couple weeks specifically. I think it's dope. I think it's awesome. And to those who are probably like,
oh my god, I can't believe he wasted his money.
You have to understand, that same Charizard was worth $36,000 last year. Not even last year, like a couple months ago. So that same Charizard that he spent $226,000 on, some people think is a waste of money, in like a year from now is going to be selling for $1 million. Because the thing you have to understand is, it's the perfect grade. As you can see, I have one actually right next to me, a Slow King. It's a PSA 10. When something is a perfect 10, what happens is only so many exist. That specific Charizard, there's 120 that exist in the world. So literally in a year from now, that Charizard will be $1 million. 5 years from now, it could be $5 to $10 million. It's just going to keep going up because it's always going to be people who are entering the hobby that have a lot of money. They'll just want it. And if only 120 exist and there's a lot of millionaires that exist that actually want it as well, it's going to get very competitive. So it's not a matter of wasting money. It's more about buying like a really, really cool collectible that you want that you know is only going to get more popular and valuable over time. So yeah, I would have done it if I had the money. In the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy my PSA 9. It's not a 10. But a 9 is just as good as it is. How do you gain the drive to do YouTube? Why and how are you so motivated? That's a good question, actually. I treat YouTube the same way today that how I used to treat it back when I first got into it back in like 2012, 2013. It's just fun to create. Like, you know, obviously back then I had like nobody watching, but even back then I was still making videos as if I had thousands of people watching, if that makes sense. Like, to me, it was just fun being able to just sit down, record myself playing a game, and just upload it. I don't know what it was. Just the idea of creating a piece of media and just tossing on the internet was just always fun to me. To me, it was never about the extra stuff that comes with YouTube, you know, stuff like, you know, making money, becoming internet famous, all that stuff. To me, it was just literally just about being able to just sit down and just make something fun and then tossing up and then call it a day. So that's probably why my motivation has always been the way it is right now, because that aspect of content creation has never really changed for me. If you had $1 million, what would you do with them? So, like, are you saying, like, if I just magically got $1 million today, I'm not even kidding. I would buy 4 PSA 10 Shadowless Charizards with that money immediately, frame 1. Yeah, I would spend the entire $1 million on 4 cards. And again, same thing what I said earlier. The reason why is because those 4 cards, first of all, I get to keep 1, number 1. 2, I can sell the other 3 for a couple $1 million later. So it's an investment, basically. So instead of investing in stocks, I would invest in Pokemon, if that makes sense. And worst case scenario, if it never blows up and if it goes down, then I have 4 first edition Shadowless Charizard. So to me, it's a win-win situation, if that makes sense. But 100%, I would do that. And again, it is not a waste of money. It goes up in price. Even though I literally just said, even if it goes down, I still wouldn't care. I don't know. I'm weird. I love Pokemon. Leave me alone. Play Five Nights at Freddy. I will not. Not because I'm scared, but mostly because I actually have this pet peeve where if one of my friends does anything different on the channel, people always come to me and say, hey, you should do it too. I don't like doing that. Obviously, they're referring to that because C-Reacts right now is doing his Month of Mayhem, and I think Nano did it as well, but they both play Five Nights at Freddy. So obviously, anytime anybody in my friend circle does something different or they play some kind of new game, people always come to me and say, hey, you should do it too. It's like, no, I don't want to. That's their thing. I don't want to bite their style, which is kind of funny because I'm doing a Q&A video a week after C-Reacts did his. But I promise I wanted to do this a week ago, and then he made his video, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just push mine back. Do you think Dokkan Legends will ever run out of content? This is a good question. Absolutely, they will. And what people don't understand is when gacha games, well, not run out of content, because the games will never run out of content. What happens is the games just shut down. At some point, you know, Shueisha will probably be like, you know what? This has been going on for way too long. We're going to cut the plug. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking that will never happen. They are printing money. It actually, ironically, is not about the money. There's been actually a lot of gacha games over the course of history, basically, where they literally just pulled the plug because they just wanted to do something different. And at any point, they could do that with Legends and Dokkan. Dokkan is approaching 6 years old in January for the Japanese version, and then for the global version that following summer. And they could easily be like, all right, you know what? We're done. We're done here. Thank you guys for all the fun years, and servers are shut down. When that happens, the games are both just gone. There's nothing you can do about it. You won't be able to access your game. It's done. Would I be mad about that? I mean, I might be kind of tight about it, but at the end of the day, I just know it's going to happen at some point, so I probably will just move on. Honestly, if Legends and Dokkan just shut down tomorrow, I would just play something else, because that's all you can really do at that point. What was the most you were willing to spend on a Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh card? I spent $5,000 on this a year ago, and I know what you're thinking.
$5,000 for a piece of cardboard, Ryan? What the hell are you doing?
This same card today, I think they're selling for like $50,000. It's been a year. So again, the thing is when you spend a lot of money on trading cards, it's not about how much you spend, it's how much it's going to grow in the future. So if you spend $5,000 on something like this and that's grown to $50,000 today, I think that's a good deal. And like I said earlier, you know, Bob spent Logic, he spent $226,000 on a Charizard. That's probably going to be $500,000 by mid 2021. Maybe by the end of the year, reach a whole $1 million, and that's what happens. At the end of the day, they always grow. How much money have you wasted on Dragon Ball Legends? Surprisingly, not as much as you think. I think out of all the bigger content creators, I have spent the least. I'm not even kidding. I have probably spent the least. The most I've ever went on a single banner was YuGiOh in year 1. I think that was 100,000 Chrono Crystals, and you can do the math yourself, including all like the sales and stuff like that. But honestly, after that moment, I was like, let me just stop doing that. So I actually cut back my spending a lot in those games. Just because, like, right now, my mentality for Legends is more inside of, like, you know, once I pull something once or twice, I'm kind of done. On top of that, they have the multi-Z powers you can use, and they also have the Legends limited Z powers as well that I hang on to. So, I actually spend a lot less than most. But the other thing I want to point out is, I wouldn't say it's even wasted, because remember, I'm a content creator, so when I buy Chrono Crystals to make a summon video, I make money back. So if I spend $100 in a video, and I make like 300, 400 back, it's not wasting money. If anything, it's more of an investment, if that makes sense. If you see your channel ending, don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, everything ends at some point. I don't know, like, the thing about me is right now, I'm still very motivated to keep making content, and I can probably do that for the next couple years. I don't see it ending just because I'm still excited in making content. And the other thing about me is, there's always games coming out. We're gonna get another Dragon Ball game probably next year, the year after that, the year after that. As long as we're getting new content to do, especially around Dragon Ball, I can keep going. I don't see it ending anytime soon, but at some point it is gonna have to come to an end. At some point I'm gonna have to be like, you know what? I can't keep doing this, in which case maybe I'll cut back to doing a couple of videos a week, maybe once every couple of days. I don't really know, but for now we're good. For at least the next couple of years, you can expect daily content. And I remember, I have never missed a day since January 2014, and I don't intend to start, you know, break that chain anytime soon. Advice for a senior who's still unsure what to major in college and do with my life. You're asking the perfect person this question. Well, at least I think it is, because I went through the same thing as I was getting ready to graduate. When I was in college, I worked in the music industry. When I was like doing the entire 4 years of college, I was telling myself, yep, I'm going to probably end up in the music industry by the end of this. I didn't end up in the music industry. By the time I was about to graduate college, I realized I wanted nothing to do with it, and I slipped into actually the tech world for startups. That's where I actually got my first job, was at a startup. But even then, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I feel like when you're graduating high school, you're entering college, there's so much pressure around you to make a decision like,
yo, you have to figure out right now what you want to do in your life.
And the answer to that is no, you don't. Honestly, just go with the flow. Like, figure out what makes you most happy, and then figure out how to get into that industry or world where you can actually make a career out of it, and just one day at a time, literally one day at a time. Do not be pressured to figure this out today. Because remember, I was 4 years deep in college, and I still had no clue what the hell I wanted to do. So literally just do it one day at a time, go with the flow, and then do what makes you most happy and comfortable. And trust me, you'll be 1,000 times happier than you would if you were to get in a situation where you end up like basically working for something you hate. Don't get into that situation. You're gonna be miserable. Expectations for yourself when you first started making YouTube videos. I'm very hesitant. I had none. I mean, like I said, my entire like view of YouTube is I just wanted to create content. You know, back when I was in college, I had a podcast that I did on a weekly basis that I just loved making. You know, when nobody was watching, to the point where a lot of people were watching, or I guess listening at that point because it was a podcast, it was just fun being able to create. And the only expectations I had for myself is just make it fun. Like, whatever else comes with it as far as like, you know, in regards to growth, money, yada, 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 it'll be a bonus. But for now, the only expectations I have for myself is just try to make it fun, and you can't lose, if that makes sense. How much time a week do you dedicate to creating content, and what got you to collecting trading cards? A lot, actually. It's really easy to look at a content creator and think, oh, that video is 20 minutes long, that video is 10 minutes long. It took them basically an hour max to make that. I'm actually always in content creation mode from the point when I wake up at like 7, 8 a.m. to about 7 o'clock at night. That's all I'm gonna take. What that entails of is working on my video for the next day, number one, you know, working on the thumbnail, working on the titles and tags, all that stuff, and then also live stream on top of that. Like, I'm literally doing this like nonstop every single day, and even right now, it's about noon right now as I'm recording this. I'm probably gonna be done with this video by like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then I'm gonna probably eat and then go into live streaming for the day. It's never ending. It's not one of those things where you just hop in and you hop out and then you just basically jerk off the rest of the day and you're done. So yeah, it's very time consuming, but again, I love it. What got me to collecting cards? I mean, I've always was into it since I was like 8. What got me back into it was 2016 when they released the newest Pokemon set at the time, which was XY Evolutions, which is a reprint of the original set, just in modern like stats and stuff like that. When I pulled a Charizard in that box in 2016, I was back. I was back and hooked, and I just wanted to collect as many cards as I had from my childhood and more. And here I am today with all this stuff. And I don't regret it. I love this. This is like one of my favorite parts of basically my life, I guess. Do you see Xenoverse 3 being made, or just a Xenoverse 2 complete edition with fixes and everything much more on PS5 Series X? I don't think we're gonna get a complete edition. I mean, we might get like a PS5 version of the game with just slightly up the graphics, because I'm sure they might want to do that. But as far as Xenoverse 3, I think the next game, the next big arena fighter, is probably going to be a spiritual successor to Xenoverse 2. Not necessarily Xenoverse 3, although they might use the Xenoverse 3 name, because I'm sure that's going to bring in millions just off the name alone. But I think the next game for arena fighters for Dragon Ball is going to be something completely different from the ground up and new, and I'm all for that. I'd rather get that, to be honest. Your most regrettable Pokemon pack box related purchase? I don't have any. This is probably one of my scariest purchases I've ever had. This is a Shadowless Box, and this is basically the closest thing to the $200,000 box that sold a couple weeks ago, the Logan box. This is the same box, but not first edition. This is the box that everybody else grew up with. This one's different. So the way you know is the Charizard's on the side. As you can see, this is the crazy one. This is the one that was like mass printed. And basically what this is all the cards in this box don't have a shadow along the border. This same box just sold for $60,000, I believe, on this past weekend. I bought this for $14,000 last year. And I remember at the time I was thinking, man, that's a lot of money. Do I really want to do this? I closed my eyes, hit purchase, and said, all right, it's out of my power. I did it. And at the time I thought, did I make the right call here? It's a lot of money. But now looking at it again, when you buy collectibles, the prices only goes up. And now that 14 grand is worth 60. A year from now, it's gonna be worth 100. 2 years from now, it might be worth $500,000. Like, it's not a matter of regretting, but more of like it hurt to do, if that makes sense. What made you take YouTube really seriously? I hated my job that I was in. I was miserable. See, I'm the type of person where if there's something that's bad in your life, I try to figure out a way to fix it. And while I was in that situation at my last job, I just really wasn't happy. That's when I started focusing more on figuring out how to make YouTube a thing that I can actually do full time. And I put all my energy into it, which is a lesson I'm gonna give to you guys. If you're ever in a situation where you hate your job, you hate your environment, and I know you might not be able to get out of it immediately, strive to take steps to like remove whatever toxicity you have in your life and improve that. Whether this be a job or a relationship, just figure out how to like fix it, take a step at a time, and over time it's gonna get better. Best invest you made so far regardless of money value, I would probably still say the Shadowless Box. The reason why is, I mean, obviously this has gone up a lot in price, but the thing is, this box alone is incredibly rare. This is one of the rarest boxes you can own next to the first edition box that Logan bought, 2 weeks ago. You can probably say, I can probably say with confidence, there's probably less than 100 of these that exist in the world. Well, probably not that many. Maybe 200, I don't know. Not that many exist in the world, and I'm one of the few that has this. I'll probably say that one. But I also want to show you this. This is the first box I bought from like when I was first started out with YouTube. I bought this box for $3,000, and today, this same box is worth around $45,000. But the thing that makes Neo Destiny so special, actually, and the other holy grail of the Neo set, Neo Genesis, is the Neo set in general is just super underprinted. So, like, that's why that value for these have gone up so much over the course of the past year, specifically because people realize that a lot less exists and they just want it. So, yeah, obviously, I bought these for, like, super cheap at the time. It's gone up a lot in price, but so these three definitely are probably amongst the best investments I've made for Pokemon. Will we see more Mario Maker content per week instead of one video, maybe one on Mondays, another on Fridays? Look forward to Mario Maker Mondays. Honestly, see, this one's a tough one. Mario Maker is very, very niche in my channel. There's like 40 to 60, 70,000 people that enjoy that every single week. Number one, if I can get more people to watch it, then I can probably justify more. Because right now, because of how everything else is on the channel, I can like squeeze out one day where I do something that's a little bit less popular. Because the other thing is Mario takes a lot of energy to like put together. Every single Thursday, for example, I sit down at like 10 a.m. to start recording, and I'm done by like 7. Like from 10 to 7, I'm recording, editing, and putting it together. It takes a lot out of me. The other thing I was thinking about the other day is if I could ever get an editor, because again, I do all my own editing. That might make it a bit easier, but then again, it's tough. It's tough. Maybe over the course in 2 years, we might move to 2 days a week, but it all depends on how everything else like comes together, if that makes sense. How do you feel about your success? I remember watching back during the DBZ mod on Minecraft. As I said earlier, to me, it's no different than it was when I first started YouTube. It's just fun being able to sit down and create content and just have fun with the videos. Good thing is like the world sucks. Nowadays, especially in 2020, it's been a rough year. And in general, the world just sucks in general. So like being able to create content to give people laughs, the amount of times I'll like pop into Twitter or Instagram and I see people who are like, you helped me through the darkest of the days. It has really thinking like content creation is more than just making videos. Being able to just sit down and make someone laugh when they're going through the toughest of times is very special. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like, it's not about how far you get or the numbers that come with it. If you can make one person's day, it's worth it. What will you do after Dokkan ends? Play something else is all you can do. Again, I'm gonna emphasize, I'm not just sitting here playing these mobile games 24/7. I mean, I'm barely doing videos on them. I do them like once or twice a week and call it. These gacha games, they're not forever. They're gonna shut down at some point, and all you can really do at that point is just play something else. Like, what are you gonna do? Would you ever drop 200,000 on the first edition box like Logan Paul did if your situation allowed you to? Absolutely. The funny thing is I remember about 4 months ago, I was telling Logic he should buy one of those boxes, and at the time they were worth like $66,000, $70,000. And I remember he was like, "That's a lot of money. Maybe we'll talk about it." And like literally a month later, I hit him up and I'm like, yo, that same box I told you to buy just sold for 200,000. And that's when he was like, all right, give me a list of everything I need to buy. I'm in. But yeah, absolutely. If I was in a situation like that, I would buy everything just because, again, it's a smart investment. These things don't go down. And if they do go down, they go down a little bit. You know, you get big growth, small drops, big growth, small drops. Over time, you're going to make your money back. Even if you buy something super premium price today, a couple months from now, it's going to go up. All right, I think I'm going to end it at that. This is actually a lot of fun to do. I forgot how much I love doing these kind of videos because it's a nice way to kind of sit down and just kind of basically talk to you guys directly in video format. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to see more Q&A style videos, maybe we can do this like once a month. Hit that thumbs up. And if there's anything that you wanted to know that wasn't answered in this video, or maybe even expanded upon the question that were asked, just let me know down below and I'll do my best to go through all the questions in this video and then answer it later. If you want to see this again, hit that thumbs up. I had a lot of fun. As always, thank you guys for watching. My name is Rhymestyle. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.